Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto fused with Minato, Kushina and Kurama. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episodes over on Anime King, Anime King 2 and Anime Prince. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 4 channels that I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. So, the last part that we left off. Naruto, Utakata and Fu made their way towards the edge of a cliff, looking down towards the water below. As Isobu was being reformed, he was formed a second later as the three of them jumped down there. Isobu was on the rampage path. As he would not stop, he was trying to crush them, so they had to fight. However, Isobu stood no chance as the three of them attacked him, as Naruto was easily able to restrain him, and with that, they all entered a sheer mindscape. Arriving there, Isobu was angry and asked them who they were, as he then started to feel it. However, he was mostly confused about who Naruto was. As Naruto tapped his head and passed on, what happened to him? As Isobu no understand. However, in that critical moment, Naruto found out that someone was controlling Yagura. Because of the memories that he had from his past of Minato, Naruto summoned a figment of the masked man, as Isobu told him that yes, that was the man that placed Yagura under control. As Naruto was now even more angry, he knew that this man was going to be the death of the elemental nation, as he was going to have to stop him. However, the feeling that he was with the Akatsuki was strengthened even more. But before they could finish the conversation though, something happened. Shocker. That came from Chicago. Something was truly wrong. They had to finish their conversation rather quickly, as Naruto ended up leaving afterwards. Meanwhile, that was going on. Team 7, along with the My Guy team, had embarked on their mission. Guy's team had to come to a stop as they faced off against their clones, while Team 7 had to continue. Lady Chiyo and Sakura faced off against Sasori. Sasori, while being an S-rank missing named Chiyo, knew most of his moves. That is why she was able to outpace him in certain areas. However, Sasori was still rather dangerous when he pulled out the puppet of the third Kazekage. Chiyo was angry as she couldn't believe it, because of the death of the third Kazekage that had sparked a war between the sand and the stone, and it was Sasori that did it. Sasori unleashed a barrage of attacks. However, before he could bring them down on Sakura though, something blocked it. Standing there was the man himself, Naruto Uzumaki. As Sakura was shocked, she heard her sensei speaking about Naruto. No one still had no clue who this was, as she looked towards him as he saved her. As he told her that she has grown as he got to his feet, Chiyo then proceeded to watch an epic battle take place. Sasori, while being a missing name, a S-rank of that, he stood no chance against the monster that was Naruto Uzumaki, who came in like a tidal wave and eviscerated everything in his path. Naruto pulled off techniques that were S-rank, and yet he pulled them off with such ease. Wasn't even using his full power as he tapped into Sage mode, tanking Sasori's most deadliest attacks. Before he proceeded to rip him apart, he destroyed the heart canister. Before he could leave though, Sakura asked him if he was really Naruto. He simply gave her a smirk and a wink, as he then used pure wind manipulation to fly off. While that was going on, Sai and Kakashi were chasing off against Deidara, as Kakashi was using his new eye Taking Deidara off his bird was rather easy, however Deidara was a man of explosives as he continued to litter the place. But that is when Naruto arrived. Their leader had warned them about this guy, so that is why Deidara decided to attack Naruto more offensively. However, while Deidara was efficient in his explosives, Naruto was immensely smart. Quickly find out the cancellation because of the earth jutsu within the explosive. Naruto used lightning affinity and nullifies attacks before he then proceeded to knock Deidara around. Deidara did not stand a chance in taijutsu as he was next to the ground in a second, bleeding badly, as Naruto proceeded to knock him out cold instead of killing him. Before Kakashi or anyone else could say anything, Naruto sealed him away, leaving Sai and Kakashi there dumbfounded at the guy that they've been chasing for about an hour now, and yet this Naruto Uzumaki just came in and dominated him within a matter of seconds. Naruto proceeded to give Kakashi a two-finger salute as he then vanished. Skipping back to Kira, Mei was happy that Naruto was alright. She couldn't help but worry a bit though, as Naruto explained the predicament that they were in. With that, a week passed. However, Deidara was resilient. Deidara had this tendency about him. He wanted to go out in a big bang. He knew that the moment he released the secret of the Akatsuki to them, they would just cut him down within a second, and he would die, never exposing the world to the grand explosion that he wanted to expose it to. That is why he would not say a word. It doesn't matter the torture that they put him through. They could not risk pushing him in more because he might end up dying from his injuries. So they were getting frustrated with the options. However, Naruto came up with an idea, but this involved going to someone for help. A day passed after that as Fu was going out on a date with Kojiro. She hadn't told Naruto about this. She wanted to tell him after it was over because she didn't want to risk telling him something and end up, well, being really bad. However, Naruto came by the house that he had bought for them, but he mostly stayed with me nowadays, so the two girls had free reign, sleeping inside the 4-bedroom house, as sometimes Getsu was there as well. When Naruto came by and he saw Kojiro, he threatened to kill him, as Naruto had come to see Fu as his daughter, and they swore thinking that he was joking. How Teiwaya knew that he was not though, as Naruto also found out that she indeed had feelings for Shigetsu. Teiwaya always rejected that, however now, she told him. Naruto decided to go and put the fear of Kami into Shigetsu, as Teiwaya had to run and find him first. So yeah guys, the basically let's play. If you guys can switch across the place, check of yourself, and yeah, without further ado, wasting no more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. We begin this episode at the Hidden Rain, underground. A few powerful shinobis were gathered, one of them being the man who began this all, as his face was clad under a mask, going by the name that was, well, rather frightening to the elemental nation, Uchiha Madara, and his accomplice, Pain, or Nagato if you like. Konan wasn't there, as the two men were having a little private discussion about certain events that are taking place now. Zetsu was able to witness the battle. Deidara is not dead, he was taken hostage. The voice of Madara Uchiha spoke up as he looked towards Nagato. I believe that you should be prepared, because soon enough, I believe that Naruto Uzumaki will walk through this village and come to end the Akatsuki himself. Do you really believe he will be so bold even after he probed Deidara's mind? Well, he's shown to be arrogant, and because of the power he possesses, I don't believe that he will hold back himself from not attacking here, especially if it means getting rid of you. After all, you are the head of the Akatsuki from what Deidara knew, so he will be coming after you. It has been 2 weeks now, so either Deidara refuses to say anything or they're planning a strike of attack. However, given your location, it will be immensely hard for them to even attack without you noticing, not to mention with your special little reign of yours. So you have a big advantage here. However, you and I both know that you should not take him lightly. So fair warning, be prepared, and expect the fight of your life. From what we have gathered so far, he has only grown in strength and power. It doesn't matter how strong he has gotten. Pain spoke up. His voice was filled with nothing but utter confidence. I will not allow him to step foot in this village. I will increase security outside the borders. The moment I see him approaching, I will erase him myself. It's about time that someone ends him. Before that, remember he is still valuable. We need to know what happened with the Nine Tails, because without that, we're all screwed. So don't go overboard and end him that quickly. Well, not until we get the necessary information by breaking his mind by any means necessary, said Madara. As his tone was dark, they knew that he was coming. He must knew that they know as well. Deidara was captured, not killed. Well, if he wasn't an idiot, he would know. So he should be expecting a fight. Or maybe that is the reason why he hadn't shown up yet, because he knew that he would be outmatched. Meanwhile, near to the land of lightning, there was a cozy little village that had a bar that sold the finest steak in the entire elemental nation. The mountain crusher steak. It was, well, strong and incredible. As the land of mountain and the land of toads, yes, the land of toads made some really high quality steak as well, as they would get you buzzed within seconds, because toad had a higher metabolism than humans, and not to mention their size as well, so their steak was extremely strong. The mountain land had tried to replicate this over the years. Well, not personally, but their efforts were not that far off. It was good. At the moment, Jiraiya of the Sanin, Sage, summoner of the Toads of Mount Miyaboku, walked into said bar, as he was expecting someone here. Arriving inside, Jiraiya saw who he was looking for. He wasn't hiding. He was also wearing his headband. Given that they were near the mountain sides of Kumo, a few Kumo ninjas was in here. Konoha and Kumo had neutrality, so Jiraiya would not be attacked by them. However, he was rather surprised. Jiraiya did not know about the recent talks between Kumo and Kira. And yet there he was. To Jiraiya, it was quite a show-off disrespect to walk into their bar and just wear a headband that proudly. Well, even if he did not wear that headband, everyone would still notice him because of his red hair and his looks. After all, he's become quite popular in the Elemental Nation. However, the tension wasn't as hostile as Jiraiya thought. No one seemed to really do anything or really glare that much. Granted, there was not really any Kumo shinobi near. They were just people of the Land of Lightning. As Jiraiya made his way over, looking towards the headband that was sewed into his Jonin vest, that seemed to be modified already. As he sat down, I'll have what he's having, said Jiraiya, as the barkeep nodded. A few seconds later, Jiraiya was poured a drink, as he took it and took a swig of it after, sniffing it though. You can never be too cautious. Well, I'm no fool, said Jiraiya. So I knew the moment I got a ping on your location, I knew that you were inviting me to do something. The last time we spoke, it seems like you wanted nothing to do with Konoha. Well, you did end up helping out a few Konoha teams on the recent Akatsuki mission, didn't you? As Naruto downed his drink before he placed the saucer back down, as he looked towards Jiraiya before he got up and simply walked away. Jiraiya's eyes started to twitch at that. However, he sighed and picked himself up as he started to walk as well. The both of them walked in a comfortable silence, neither of them trying to attack one another. I need your help, Naruto finally spoke up, as a cocky grin came on Jiraiya's face. Oh, is that so? The untouchable tail beast killer Naruto Uzumaki need my help. This was the first time that Jiraiya was calling him by the last name, as he had never called him that before. As Naruto turned towards him as he stopped, you know, you do owe me, said Naruto. Huh? And how so, Jiraiya asks. Well, if I'm remembering correctly, said Naruto, I was the one that got information on Orochimaru. And I was the one that stopped majority of his army from taking over your village, if I'm not mistaken, said Naruto. And lessen the potential death outcome of your shinobis. Well, I suppose you're right about that, said Jiraiya. Tell me, what do you need, he asks. This will benefit us both, said Naruto. You hear about the recent attack? Well, you know, said Naruto. So that means you know what I did with the other Akatsuki member? Yes, you kidnap him. I need a Yamanaka to probe his mind. Well, I'm not surprised, said Jiraiya. Figure a resilient organization like that would not have their members speak so easily. Well, torture might work, said Naruto. However, if I do the torturing, he will die before we can get anything out of him. That brutal, Jiraiya asks. Well, I not want to go easy on someone. I want to know where the leader of the Akatsuki is, so I can finish this once and for all, said Naruto. Jiraiya narrowed his gaze. You're gonna fight them alone, he asks. Of course, said Naruto. Granted, you're strong, said Jiraiya. However, the Akatsuki is made up of S-rank criminals only. That means whoever is calling the shot, he's strong enough to control all those S-rank criminals. Yes, and I have an idea why, said Naruto. Really? Why, said Jiraiya. They possess the Rinnegan, said Naruto. Jiraiya froze up when he heard that. The Rinnegan, he said, looking towards Naruto. Don't tell me you haven't heard of it, Naruto said. Of course I have, said Jiraiya. But where have you heard of it before, he asks. Let's just say I know of it, said Naruto. In order to seal away the tail beasts and what they're doing, they will need a Rinnegan. So the leader of this group probably has those eyes, which will make him an incredibly dangerous opponent. Even a bit for myself. Well, granted, how capable he is with those eyes. If he run down the bloodline, said Naruto. What do you mean, said Jiraiya. It's not often or easy for someone to awaken those eyes, said Naruto. It's a rather rare process. It has a lot of logistics and a lot of history behind it. How do you know all of this, said Jiraiya. Let's just say I have a lot of information stored in my mind, said Naruto. Now, as I was saying, if this person does come down from that line, which is something extremely rare, for those two to get together. What are you talking about, said Jiraiya. Just stick with me, said Naruto. It's gonna need something really important for that first to be born with a Rinnegan, so I'm not sure how this is even capable. However, if there is some kind of mutations or something I'm not aware of, it should be relatively easy for me to kill him. You just said that you know about the Rinnegan, that means you know what the histories are about the Sage of Six Paths, and what those eyes are said to do, and yet you believe it will be easy for you to just kill this individual. Yes, granted they're not down the bloodline, as I say. Down which bloodline? Let's just say there is some history that you're not, well, privy to, said Naruto. However, I am no fool, and I know if I just run into this without thinking it over or finding out information, there's a chance that I will be overwhelmed, said Naruto. You speak so casually about this. What makes you think that you won't just lose, Jiraiya asks. Because I won't, said Naruto. And what makes you so confident, said Jiraiya once again. Well, everyone has their secrets, said Naruto. So you believe even if you go up against an unknown Rinnegan user, you still think that you can come out on top because you have a little secret, Jiraiya said. Yes, said Naruto. It doesn't matter how much they are. I will still win in the end. However, I'd rather not use up specific things that I don't think is necessary, said Naruto. Aren't you being a bit too overconfident, Jiraiya asks. Maybe not, said Naruto. Now, are you gonna help me? Well, I can speak to Tsunade, although she wouldn't want you to be there as well. Why? Said Naruto. Well, you just said a lot of things a moment ago. It's hard for me to keep up with everything that you're asking for. So why don't you just come back with me and I'll speak to Tsunade and we get this whole thing sorted out. You know I'm not an idiot, right? Said Naruto as he turned towards Jiraiya. You're meaning to tell me that you can't remember this simple thing? Who's to say, said Jiraiya. Although, I would deal with it for you personally if you tell me something. And what would that be? Who exactly are you? Jiraiya said. As Naruto sighed as he looked towards the ground. Before he turned, BAM! Jiraiya's nose was shattered instantly. The man staggered back, gripping his nose as blood was running down. What the hell? He said. As Naruto gave him a glare. A freezing glare that stopped him in his tracks. You wanna know who I am? Fine, said Naruto. He moved forward as Jiraiya had to dodge. As Naruto almost buried his fist in his stomach. Stepping away, Jiraiya was frightened when Naruto stepped in his guard and slammed his fist in his gut anyways, causing him to keel back. Before Naruto proceeded to slam his head down into the ground by hitting him in the back. As Jiraiya picked himself up, Naruto kicked him away as he crashed hard on the ground. Jiraiya realized that he was gonna have to fight or he was gonna get seriously hurt. However, once he looked up, he saw Naruto looking at him, as he was no longer in a fighting stance. You don't know how long I want to do that, said Naruto. Jiraiya was holding on to his bleeding nose, as he wiped blood away, as he got back to his feet. What the hell was that? He said. That's for leaving me all alone, said Naruto. Leaving you? Time and time again you ask me who I am. Well, fine then, if you want to know. I am Naruto Uzumaki. I knew it, said Jiraiya, holding on to his nose. But I'm not also him alone. I'm Minato. I'm Kushina, said Naruto as he hesitated on the last part, not really saying that. But Jiraiya was not focusing on that. You're what? He said, shocked. Yes, you heard me, said Naruto. I almost died on that bridge, however. In a last-ditch effort, I was safe because Minato was ingenious enough to place a piece of his chakra and Kushina's as well in the seal. It caused a bit of backlash that ended up merging us all together. So I am Naruto Uzumaki same way. I retain my name despite knowing everything that they know. Knowing that you were supposed to be there as a goddamn godfather to Naruto, and yet you left him in that village. Don't give me your bullshit about spying at work, said Naruto before Jiraiya could say a word. You're not always working, you could have visited. You could have at least be there for him to let him know that he had family, but no. For majority of his life he had to grow up thinking that he had no one, that everyone abandoned him. Because what? You were around the elemental nation gallivanting. You thought of me as a goddamn son, said Naruto, as Jiraiya realized that he was speaking as Minato. You were my sensei, a father to me. I had no one. I was just an orphan, and I was picked out of the litter because I was special than the others. However, that wasn't the reason why you chose me. You thought of me as the greatest as I grew, saying that I was a prodigy like no other. And it made me understand what it's like to have family. You were there when I first met Kushina. I told you that I liked her and you told me to go for it, but yet you abandoned my son. You could have at least looked him over. We made you his godfather and yet you just left. You spoke so highly of us and yet the one thing that we asked you to do, you did not do it. Jiraiya looked down ashamed as he felt his gut turn at that one, as the shame was great on his face. What? You're silent now, said Naruto. Nothing to say. You're right, said Jiraiya, as Naruto raised his eyebrow watching him. Yeah, you're right. I was a coward, and afraid, and a fool as well. At least give me a chance to explain before you try and kill me. Well, go on, said Naruto. When you and Kushina died, it was a lot. And I once again feel like a failure, unable to help in any way. If I had been there, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I would have been the one to do the sealing, and you would have survived. You were the Hokage after all. While it wasn't your exact dream to be Hokage, you became a leader that inspired people, to give people hope, and I was so proud. Yet I wasn't able to do a damn thing when it comes to your life. And I was so ashamed that I left. I spent years wandering around the elemental nation. Before I know it, 5 years had passed. I came back to the village and I found Naruto. And when I saw him, all I could see was the both of you. And the guilt, the disappointment, how I feel, how I know the both of you would have felt. Because I just left him there, without even visiting. And I guess I couldn't bear it. I was afraid. To even speak to him, those memories were not pleasant. So I left. Tried to tell myself that I wasn't fit to be a guardian, to protect you. However, I was just a coward. A hopeless fool. So if you want to be angry, go ahead. I really don't have any excuse. I just fail. Much like everything else within my life. So go ahead. And get it over with, said Jiraiya, as he looked up towards Naruto. As Naruto pulled his fist back, as Jiraiya remained. However, Naruto simply stopped, as he lowered his hand. While I would love to beat the living crap out of you, it wouldn't change anything, it wouldn't change the past, said Naruto. Besides, feelings will only get things complicated. We have a job to do. This Akatsuki group is gonna be the end of this world. Jiraiya was shocked by that. What makes you say that, he said, trying not to speak about what they just went through. A long time ago when the Nine Tails was set free. It wasn't the seal that failed. None of you knew what happened because none of you were there. Baiwaku, Hirusen's wife, the Anvu guards, the other doctor, they were all killed by a masked man. As Jiraiya was rather surprised. He had a Sharingan. At the time, I believe it to be Madara Uchiha. Jiraiya was frightened as he heard that name. You can't be serious. No, I am. At the time, I truly believed that it was. Wait, you don't anymore? Now I'm not so certain, however. This man, the way he talked, what he was plotting to do. If we don't stop the Akatsuki, I'm sure, 100% that he will take all the Biju's powers. And he would use it to annihilate the nations. His reasoning, I'm still not 100% sure, but it won't be good for any of us. That is why we need to... Naruto paused. As he looked over to the side. What's wrong, said Jiraiya. We need to what? Wait, said Naruto. As he closed his eyes. Jiraiya watched as he dropped down to the ground and placed his hand on it. Confused by the action as he wondered what was going on, Jiraiya stood there. As Naruto's eyes snapped open. Damn it, he cursed. As he was looking towards the location of Kumo. We have to move. Now! Meanwhile that was going on, Yujito was panting heavily. Yujito was a container of the two tails. A proud Kumo Kunoichi. She thought that if she had lowered them into this place, she would be able to kill them, however she was so wrong. She had transformed. She had given it her all, but it doesn't matter what she do. It doesn't matter how hard she fights, they just wouldn't die. She burned, she ripped. However, they just kept on getting back up. At the moment, she was trying to get away. As she was on her last legs. The Nibi was trying to heal her as best as possible, but with no success. They were deep underground. She had flared the Nibi's chakra a great deal, hoping that it would draw someone's attention. However, the area that she lured them to was far away from anyone. And she knew that she was screwed. And there wasn't a damn thing she can do about it. Slam! The side slammed right into the wall beside her face, almost slicing her. Now, kitten. Where exactly do you think you're going, Hidan said, with a smirk on his face. She turned only for a fist to smash in her face as she slammed into the wall. Hey Kakazu, what's the big deal, said Hidan. I told you that she was mine. We've wasted enough time. It's time that we end this. Hidan pulled out his scythe by the cord. As Yujito got up, he threw it. She cried out in pain as it pierced right through the palm of her hand and pin her to the wall. As blood started to drip down frantically. As she looked up with hazy eyes, she had lost so much blood. Hidan came over as he licked the blood off her cheek with a smirk. It's a shame I can't sacrifice you to Lord Jashin. However, I still need to do my prayer to beg Lord for forgiveness for not sending him a sacrifice. As Kakazu looked towards him in a glare, I'm doing it, said Hidan. Kakazu sighed in annoyance as he sat down. As Yujito's head started to bob, she couldn't pass out. She knew the moment she passed out, it would be over, and she would be done for. As she tried to retain her consciousness, however, she was having a hard time doing so. There is no point, Kakazu spoke up. You won't be waking up back, so it's best if you just close your eyes and give up right now. I am sure that the pain will not hurt as much. As Yujito's head started to fall, her body was not strong enough to keep up. As Hidan started to stab himself in the stomach, as he lay on the ground praying to his lord. It was then that something happened. Yujito felt it. Kakazu turned his head. Hidan, he said. As Hidan turned, only for a blade of wind to tear right through the ceiling. They were on the ground. As it slammed into Hidan's chest, splitting his chest wide open. A gaping hole was left. As Hidan dropped to the ground, blood leaking from his chest. As he grit his teeth in rage. Who had the balls? Who had the guts to do this? The ceiling then started to crack as an immense pressure started to be felt all over the area. It felt like someone was tearing through the ground, coming to them. As Yujito watched the entire place exploded. However, her body gave out at that moment as she passed out, only to see a red blur landed right in front of her between the two assailants. Back with Naruto, as Kakazu was on his guard as he saw, was like red flames flicking off Naruto's skin. However, it was gone the moment he landed. Kakazu narrowed his gaze, surprised to see him here of all people. This was unexpected. You! I remember you, said Hidan, as he gripped his fist and grabbed his sight. He rushed with all the speed his body could muster up. Hidan swung the sight to take Naruto's head off. However, Naruto ducked before he slammed a fist in Hidan's guts. He then cracked his chin by throwing his head upwards. Hidan spat blood into mid-air as Naruto slapped his head to the side before grabbing his head by the hair as he slammed Hidan's face right into his knee, shattering his nose. As all of this was like a blur as Naruto assaulted him. By the time he was done, Hidan was thrown. Hands and legs were broken in several different areas. As Naruto turned his gaze towards Kakazu. Hey, said Naruto. Long time no see. As he narrowed his eyes towards a woman. You know me, said Kakazu. Yes. Oh yeah, you wouldn't remember me because I was wearing a mask. At the time I didn't know about your little organization. I did take some money off you though, said Naruto with a smirk. You took money off me? Wait. Kakazu then remember when he was collecting the bounty when he had killed his partner. It was you. He was the one that did it. As Kakazu looked towards him, you stole my briefcase worth of cash. Yes. I splurged with it, said Naruto. Thanks for that again. A hand shot from behind Naruto as Kakazu had fed his hand underneath the ground. It gripped the back of Naruto's neck and yanked him downwards, causing Kakazu to leap forward. His fist caught back as his body instantly turned into a grayish color. Boom! The entire place was torn apart as his fists drive deeply within the earth. As for Jiraiya, he was running as fast as he could. He couldn't believe how fast Naruto was. There was a lot of revelation that he was told today. However, at the moment Naruto said that, the Akatsuki was on the move. He had sensed something that Jiraiya was not able to sense, and he had just shot off at blinding speeds. Jiraiya was unable to keep up, as he was chasing after where the blonde went. A red glow, just like when he was fighting off against the Hokages in the barrier. It gave him an extreme boost in his speed, as Jiraiya quickly made his way as fast as possible. They were heading towards the Kumo territory, but Naruto didn't seem to be going towards the village. Instead, he seemed to be going towards a different shaft over to the side. A large open land area, as Jiraiya tried to get there as fast as possible. Back within the dark, desolate underground cave, Kakazu's fist was buried deep within the earth, because he hit absolutely nothing. Over to the side, Naruto was holding on to the girl in his arms, as he held her. As Kakazu turned as he watched, as the kid applied a sealing tag to her chest. Kakazu watched as green markings spread over her body, as he watched in curiosity as her wounds started to heal rapidly, until the tag fizzled away. She stirred, but she was still asleep. A clone poofed beside Naruto, without him even weaving hand signs, as he handed her over to the clone. That is when Hidan rushed to slice Naruto in half with his sight, as his joints had popped back into location. The sight was inches away from Naruto's face. Kakazu was about to blurt out that he should not kill him. Their leader wanted him alive, however, it was too late. But Naruto was much too fast for Hidan. A clone poofed right in front of Hidan, surprising him. The clone then proceeded to grip Hidan by the stomach and flip him before he grabbed him from behind and locked him, grabbing the back of his head as Hidan was unable to move. He cursed as he tried to punch the clone, however, he did not allow him to do so. 3 clones then appear as they turned their sights towards Kakazu. Wind, fire, and lightning. All of natures were shot towards the man, forcing him to jump away. Kakazu realized that it was just a distraction, as the real Naruto held up his hand. He looked towards Hidan with a smirk. Last time we fought, I cut you to pieces. Your body was able to be stitched back together, I can see from the markings, said Naruto. That means, if I were to turn you into dust, would you come back? I'm immortal, you fool, Hidan said, not really understanding what Naruto was saying as he just wanted to kill him. You can never stop me. I will hunt you down until the end of days, and I'll make you pay for what you did. Trust me, even if I have to rip you apart with my teeth, Hidan said, trying to get free. However, the clone gripped him tightly as he could not move. I've been dying to try this new move, said Naruto. Let's see you get back up after this. As Kakazu tried to meet Naruto, however, 5 more clones appear as they start to push him back. As Naruto started to gather lightning chakra, Hidan was cursing. Let go of me, he said as he jumped back, smashing the back of the clone into the wall. However, another one gripped his arms, trapping him in place. He fussed and he threw around, however, he could not get out of the grip. As Naruto smirked, try this on, he said. Lightning release. Rasen rod, he said. Like a lightning rod, as Naruto's arms became enveloped. The blue spear of the Rasengan traveled across his arms and twisted together like a spear. Before it started to generate lightning around it, it then started to spin like a rod aimed towards the target. Hidan's eyes went wide as he started to throw around even more. Immediately, Kakazu flashed through hand signs to mask him on his shoulder. A wind and fire collaboration. However, at that moment, Rasengan Jiraiya burst through as he drove a Rasengan towards Kakazu, already surveying the situation. Kakazu was forced to jump back, cursing at what was going on right now. As Jiraiya then felt it, his hair started to spike up, being so close to Naruto's skin, started to tingle violently. Jiraiya had to jump away as well. Kakazu could not even get in close as the place was being ripped apart by the lightning around Naruto. It started to spiral. Now, Rasen Rod, said Naruto as he fired off the technique. It was like a spiraling tornado, vertical side. That is when Jiraiya noticed Naruto's eyes had took on the signs of Sage Mode. The technique slammed into Hidan as the clones poofed away. First, the electricity numbed his body, and it then started to push deep within inside of him, His hands dropped to the side as it spread throughout his entire body, destroying his nerves. Hidan dropped to his knees, his legs, feeling useless. All of his nerves ending, everything left his body. All pain receivers, everything was just erased. All control over his system was just gone. The technique had completely devoured all sort of movement from inside of him as Hidan had dropped down, unable to even move his mouth. But it wasn't done yet. The spiraling twist into the Rasengan dome that swallowed the area before it then imploded into a gigantic shower of electricity, ripping everything apart. All of them had to jump away, even Naruto, as the technique was too close distance for the amount of power that he pumped into it. The ceiling exploded violently as the technique tore through and burst straight up in the heavens, shooting towards all distance. Once everything was done and clear, smoke filled the entire place. As Naruto stood there, after trying out his new technique, his Rasen Rod, he had mixed Wind Chakra with the Rasengan, creating the Rasen Shuriken. He had also mixed electricity with it as well, creating the Rasen Rod, as this was his most powerful yet, and the thing was truly devastating. A gaping hole was left, as Hidan was nowhere to be seen, no clothing, nothing. He was gone. While he was immortal, his body had to stay in contact. For him to even remain alive, his brain, his entire system was eviscerated, so there was no way that he would ever survive that. That is when a strange black creature appeared in front of Naruto, point blank range, as the thing released a wind jutsu right in his face, tearing apart everything. However, Naruto was gone in a high-rushing flash. Jiraiya was surprised when Naruto appeared next to him, as he wondered when the hell did he mark him. It must have been when he hit him out there, Jiraiya thought to himself. However, the thing just kept on raining down ball of lightning, destroying the entire place. As Naruto then turned as he realized it was only a distraction, as the thing destroyed the cave mouth, causing a cave-in, as both Naruto and Jiraiya had to flee away, as the entire place came dropping down on them. Once they got back to the surface, Kakazu was gone, his little masked puppet flying away in the process. There was no way in hell Kakazu would stay behind after what he had just witnessed. Besides, he was sure that the Akatsuki would like to hear about what is going on, and he was gonna live to tell them what happened. This Naruto Uzumaki was truly devastating in every term of the word. Jiraiya looked towards Naruto with a shocked look on his face, as he couldn't believe what he had just saw. It was baffling. "What?" said Naruto. You master, mixing the element with the Rasengan." "It was incomplete," said Naruto. "After all, I did create the technique. How long do you think it will take me to do so?" "Well, I guess you're right," said Jiraiya, forgetting that he was also talking to Minato as well. But he saw himself as a different person, Naruto Uzumaki. That is when Naruto turned his gaze, as his clone came over to him holding on to the woman. "Who's that?" "I am not sure of her name, but she does hold the two-tailed cat inside of her," said Naruto, as everything went white for Naruto as he was pulled within the mindscape. As Naruto stood in front of the gigantic cat, Yujito's body was lying in front of her. The cat looked down towards him as it started to watch him carefully. "What are you?" she said. "You have. No, you're a part of Kurama. How is that possible? You're not a Jinchuriki, you are him. What have you done?" "I want to inform you about something, and I also need your help as well. However, I'm gonna need you not to tell anyone about this. Can you promise me that?" "Manatabi, you know my name?" "Well, for starters, I am Kurama. So, promise me that you won't tell anyone what I'm about to tell you." Kurama was always the strongest, always one that he listened to whenever things went too bad, and they also fear him in a sense, and Manatabi and the weaker Bijus were a bit more submissive then. Shikaku was always trying to fight Kurama even though he lost all the time, as she simply nodded her head. However, that only took a few seconds. Jiraiya slapped Naruto on the shoulder. "Hey, what the hell was that?" "Just having a conversation," said Naruto. "Well, it seems that the cavalry has finally arrived." Immediately, C, Kumo ninja known as C, one of their best sensors, landed. As it wasn't him alone though, Darui, and also Team Samui was there as well. Immediate weapons were drawn. "Let go of her," said C, rage in his eyes as he looked towards Naruto holding on to Ujito. "Would you calm down?" said Naruto. "I know how this looked." "Yes, it looked pretty bad. How would you explain yourself?" said Darui. "And you, Jiraiya of the Sanin, you're aiding in the capturing of one of our Jinjulikis." "It's not like that," said Jiraiya. "Look, we actually saved her life." "You mean I saved her life?" said Naruto. "You did nothing." "Come on, you could have at least given me that one," said Jiraiya, as Naruto simply looked away from him. As he simply stepped forward, however, they flinched. As Naruto looked towards Amoy, Karu, and Samui, unaware of their names. As he looked at them, "I'm not gonna harm you," he said. "You," said Karui. "You're the Tail Beast Killer, Naruto, aren't you?" "Yes. And as I was saying, I'm a Kira Shinobi, a Jonin of the village. And I'm sure that your Raikage would want to talk to me. After all, I just prevented your Jinjuliki from being taken," said Naruto as he walked forward, unaffected by the looks that they were giving him as he stepped straight towards Samui. As he handed her Ujito, the others, ready to strike at any moment, noticed, however, he did not retaliate. C looked toward the cave. What the hell happening there? "I know that the technique was used, but it's still overwhelming my senses." "Sorry about that," said Naruto. "Now, can we get a move on?" Time skip. Of all the people the Raikage expected to see today, this man was not one of them. Time skip. Sometime later, both Naruto and Jiraiya were leaving the Land of Lightning after an interesting conversation with the Raikage. Once Jiraiya was sure that they weren't being watched anymore. "You know, if I hadn't seen it myself, I would say that the way you handled that situation was impossible. You got the Raikage to not only extend a ceasefire with Konoha, however, you got him to also make an alliance with Kiri as well." Jiraiya was unaware of the already talks between Kumo and Kiri, thinking that was all Naruto's doing. "Not to mention, when I saw you fighting, I thought that maybe you just returned the fighting skills, and you did not get any of the politics and the strategic moving when it came to these areas. However, you delegated all of the information, and you only spare what he should knows, knowing that if he knows about the threat of Madara Uchiha or the Rinnegan, that will just drive things to a greater length that might push things out of control and get the Akatsuki moving earlier. However, you also got him to beef up security around his Jinjulikis. I'm impressed." "You should be," said Naruto. "Now, about you." Seeing that the Raikages agreed to make sure that things are civil while we deal with the Akatsuki threats. "Well, it's the way that you made it sound," said Jiraiya. "After all, he know that you're really powerful, and for you to be aware about this organization, he must know that something is wrong with them. Something dangerous." "Yes, another thing Konoha should thank me for," said Naruto. "Yeah, I guess you're right," said Jiraiya. "Now, about that little memory diving," said Naruto. Meanwhile, that was going on. "He appeared out of nowhere," said Kakazu. "There was red flames coming from his skin. However, whatever technique he used to get there within time dissipated the moment he landed. He took out Hidan in a matter of seconds. Even though I caught him, he was able to get away from my grasp. That damn technique of the Fourth Hokage is really useful, making him more deadly. To begin with, I was kept busy with his clones that can release a variety of ninjutsu, ranging from all the elements just like mine. He then released a technique he called the Rasen Rod, which turned Hidan into dust. While he might be able to survive even decapitation, that's not something that he can come back from, said Kakazu. And you're saying that Jiraiya the Sannin was with him? Hey, my Kira ninja Jiraiya the Sannin with Konoha. Yes, the both of them were working together. Jiraiya attacked me to get me away from him to buy him time to use that Rasen technique of his. As Pain was quiet as he took in all of that information. When Kakazu had contacted me, he thought that he had got the Jinchuriki faster than expected, but he was wrong. As he did not fault Kakazu for fleeing, Naruto Uzumaki was proven to be a nuisance even in his side. Damn it, he cursed to himself. Time skip. As Naruto was heading back to Kiri, as he was feeling happy about getting home, there was a lot that he's been thinking about lately. Something that he planned to do once he figured out how to do it. As he brought a smile to his face, he thought about it. As he was close to his destination, hands in his pockets, he had already solved several problems with the upcoming Akatsuki threats by making sure that he would be able to be notified whenever the Akatsuki made their move, so he can end them before the problem even begins. That was another member down. He has killed 3 of them so far. There was still Itachi Uchiha, there was still Kisame, and there was still Kakazu who had ran away. He still need to hunt him and kill him. And there was also the leader, and then that woman. He told her the next time he saw her she would die, and he was not joking. As Naruto was walking, he felt something strange. In front of him, he watched a place ripple. As the place twists in front of him, it didn't take too long after that as someone simply emerged out of nothingness. The man calmly landed on his feet. As Naruto instantly recognized who this person was, it was him. He said nothing as the man looked at him with this nonchalant look, checking him out, as if weighing his strength and his weaknesses, but trying to understand how powerful Naruto was by just looking at him would not work. Neither of the men spoke as they just kept on looking at one another. I suppose I should introduce myself. As of now, just think of me as a problem solver of the Akatsuki. And you have been a real thorn in the Akatsuki side, stopping us from achieving what we desire. I need you to remove yourself from the equation. Oh, is that right? Said Naruto. And how exactly will you make me do that? Well, there is no question about how powerful you are. I can tell that you're extremely powerful. However, you should know, I would do whatever it takes to win. And that include killing everyone that you come to love and care about. That girl that you saved from Taki, you were willing to go through an entire village to make sure that she was protected. So you must have come to care about her in a sense. So, if I have to, I will erase her and every single one that you come to care about. If you continue to stand in my way, I will make sure that you wish that you were dead. So this is your last warning, Naruto Uzumaki. Evict yourself from this situation or I will put you through hells that you can't even understand. Do you understand me? As Naruto focused on him, his chakra, it felt so similar. Minato wasn't a sensor. He was a touch sensor. He wasn't a vibral sensor like Kushina Uzumaki, who was a natural sensor that could sense people chakra from a long distance. Minato has touch sensor abilities, and he wasn't that good at detecting that much, so he wouldn't have felt it. However, Naruto felt it now because all of those things were combined. As the power of the fox, the memories of this man controlling him, everything coming together, and that chakra, it felt so... No. It can't be, Naruto thought to himself, as he focused on the individual in front of him. Memories that fixed that chakra into his mind. Flashback into the past. Obito Uchiha was with their sensei as she arrived. The red-headed woman, she was their sensei's girlfriend. They could tell that from the way they acted. However, their relationship doesn't seem to be public, as Obito and Kushina got into a bit of scuffle as she bumped him on the head with the basket that she had. She brought him food, as he had to be prepared for what is to come, and going out on an empty stomach is not something that she would want to happen for him. He was Minato the student, someone that she truly believed that can become Hokage. He had the determination and the drive to never give up, and she liked it about him. End of flashback. Obito? The masked man froze, not understanding how this possibility was even. What do you just say? Obito asks. You're Obito, aren't you? Obito Uchiha. I'm afraid I don't know who you're talking about. Who is this Obito? He asks. You are him, said Naruto. But how? You died. The cave-in. Your body was destroyed. How did you survive? Naruto asks. I have no idea what you're talking about. But then, I didn't notice. I could have... If I had known, I could have done something. I could have stopped you. But I didn't. Obito's eyes narrowed under his mask. It seems like you've gone insane. We'd never met before. Maybe you truly have gone mad. I am here for a completely different reason. And that is a tale beasts. Obito was having an internal freak out. How did he know? He tried to keep his calm, however. There must be some elevation in his voice, because he was so shocked. While he was in deep thought, his mask was ripped off his face. Obito was shocked as he stepped back. Shocked to what the hell just happened, as Naruto had just appeared in front of him. As Obito felt a strange sensation in his chest. Their eyes locked together. As Naruto looked into those eyes, he had two Sharingan. Half of his face had healed over after the rock had crushed him, and he had another Sharingan. However, the chakra in that one seemed to be different, like he did not belong there. Obito leaped away as fast as possible, as Naruto was still holding on to the mask, showing no intention of chasing him. Obito cursed at having his identity being discovered this easily, as he then looked down toward his chest. He remembered that then, Minato, when he disconnected him from the fox. His eyes went wide in shock. You, he said, couldn't believe in what he was seeing. But it can't be. This can't be, Sensei. I failed you, said Naruto, as he realized if he had known that it was Obito that night, he could have done something. He failed him. The hatred that the man had spoke about that night. His student had been put through a lot, and his heart had been clouded with nothing but darkness. However, Naruto's emotions quickly realigned himself. He had to fix his mistake. His student had gone down a path that he wasn't able to save him from. Even if he could, the things that he had done, he still could not forgive him. A part of him wanted to, but another part would never forgive him for taking him away. For taking both Kushina and Minato away from Naruto. Obito was the one that did all of this. As Naruto's fist clenched, the mask broke in his hand. Obito was gone the next second. Naruto could have chased after him with a High-Rishin. However, he had no idea where the space-time ninjutsu would let him end up. He had no idea where that swirling vortex went, and he wasn't about to walk into a trap while he was extremely powerful. Not knowing what was on the other side would get him in some real deep shit, so he wouldn't chance it. However, he now knew who was under that mask. It was his student Obito Uchiha. The memories from Kushina, the chakra sensation, it was the exact same. It was a bit different because there was different source of chakra over his body. Something that feels like Hoshirama Senju. The Mokitan. One of his arms was literally made up of it. What has he done to himself, Naruto wondered. Meanwhile that was going on, Obito was in his dimension. He was afraid to enter back into the normal world. Afraid that he would just flash right there. In here he had more control, so that is why he would not return back to the normal world like this. And besides, that jutsu gave him far too much versatility. He could just flash anywhere. However, Obito was still frightened. How did he remove his mask? How did he teleport towards him like that? It made absolutely no sense. Minato was the one that hit him, and he felt the same sensation. However, he was able to use a Hyroshin. Was it just a coincidence? No. He spoke like he knew him, saying that he failed him. But how could that be, Sensei? Just what in the world was going on, Obito thought to himself. First though, he had to find a way to get rid of the seal off his body. And he had to do it quickly, as he couldn't afford to be a spot of teleportation for Naruto Uzumaki. That would ensure his death sooner than later. But he was furious that he was caught so quickly and unprepared. If he hadn't went for his mask, there was a chance that he would have shoved a Rasengan into his chest, because Obito was not prepared for that at all. Damn it, he cursed to himself. Having no information about what is going on was really tearing away at him, as he needed to find out who in the hell was Naruto Uzumaki. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Jiraiya said snidely, surprised to see him back so soon. Haim, he said, I have some information. I spoke to Naruto. You did what? Yes. He talked to me about what happened. Even about what happened when he's safe. The team from the S-rank criminals. Yes, Sakura told me about that. Even the Kazekage is interested in meeting this Naruto Uzumaki. However, that's not all, Haim. I know who he is. Snidely looked at him with a shocked look. You do? How? He told me. There's a lot you need to know, he said to her. Meanwhile, as Naruto sat in a tree, he had moved too far from where he once was, as he still couldn't believe that it was Obito. The Minato part of him was filled with so much regret that he didn't realize it was a student. It took him having Kushina sensory ability and the Fox Chakra sensory to realize that it was his former student. As he realized that if he had known, he would have been able to done something about it, but he failed him once again. He slammed his fist into the tree. He had to do something about this. He had to save his student from this by ending his life, as that was the only way that Naruto saw it. His student has done so many things, and he was now a part of the organization that he said that he would eliminate, just because he had memories and feelings of the kinship that he shared when he was his sensei. Doesn't mean that he would stop his plot of getting rid of the Akatsuki. Obito was a major player, he could tell that, and his ability made him quite dangerous. However, Naruto already knew a bit about it, so it would be easier. However, he wasn't trusting the fact to flash towards the location where Obito was. Not to mention Hyroshin had a range. In certain locations, he could not flash towards it. It did have a range, it's not like it was unlimited. If that was the case, he would have marked the entire elemental nation and simply flashed to any place that he wanted to go. However, now knowing this though, there was a lot more that he can do, a lot more that he can change. But guys, be and subscribe right here. For something important, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series over on Anime King, Anime King to Anime Prince, which I post on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say begin this new episode? Begin now guys. What am I saying? Let's get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.